Okay, I'm a Latina of color, single parent. Identify myself as what? Lesbian, queer, whatever. Try not to categorize myself in that aspect. The only thing I'm not is I'm not straight. And I work a lot in the community for in the education. I'm on local school council for my son's school, who's 14. And I think a lot of our political, what I'm looking for is a major change in healthcare, or healthcare and education. Education probably coming first. I don't know, that's a hard thing to say. And also just as having a child, a boy, a young boy, who is biracial, that to give him every opportunity that a lot of the more the whites and a lot of the affluents have, and making those opportunities available to them. So I'm really excited, especially if I'm hoping Obama makes it. I'm a strong Obama supporter. Not just because of that, but not just because of I stand for where he's trying to go politically. I also stand for it being a positive role model for Javier, and so that he can see himself, he can see other people that are of color in high important roles, because it's really hard to see, especially in inner city, especially where I live. That's hard to see all the time. So it's not something you see walking out the street, or you have to, as a parent, you have to focus more on putting those people, those type of people in front of your kids. So education is one. The pastor at the church that I attend, I wouldn't say it's my church. I attend this church, but it's not my church. That he has a strong backing. I like that view. I like his views of him going directly to fight education, inequality in education, him going to the political, taking a political stance and going to the superintendent of the Chicago Board of Education and fighting on that level, on a political level, versus, I mean, I think he does stuff within the community as well, but he's doing two different things, and it not just staying within the community, but he has to fight it politically as well, which is kind of hard for a pastor to do. Healthcare, I hope, healthcare is really, really hard. I don't think that, I heard McCain talk about, oh, we screwed up with the economy, we don't want the government going into the economy, running the economy, but why should we want the government running our healthcare? But I think I trust the government more than I trust the insurance companies, most definitely. So I support Obama and what he wants to do with healthcare. And I love the fact that he incorporates technology. That's my thing. That's another thing I train on technology, so kind of got that aspect. And I think I'm done. Is that good?
I just want to ask.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, how do you see yourself participating in the change that you want to have happen?
You know, I'm in the local school council, Javier School, because what they do, each school has their own governing body, and it takes the principal along with some teachers and the people within the community, parents, business partners in the community, and they get to make changes within the school, within their community. So that's where I play my role, and I think I'm trying. It's very hard. In education, it's very hard to volunteer within the school, because there's so many different parameters that you just can't go in, which I see is very different from the suburb schools. Suburb schools, it's easier to participate within the school, where here it's harder to volunteer and to make new programs. So it's much more political, so that's where I had to join in the LSC to see what we're going to do about how we make our school perform at a level that competes with not people in the Chicago public school system, but people within Illinois, or the students within Illinois, or nationwide. So that's hard, because if Chicago public schools, they have a very low expectation on their students. So in the community, what we try to do is create a culture where we have a high expectation for our students, even though we're just an average neighborhood school. So according to that, we're doing great, but we're not doing great when it comes to competing against selective enrollment schools, or suburb schools, or nationwide. And so trying to get the parents involved in that is challenging. Trying to stand your kid that even though they're getting good grades, they're not at all able to compete with the other kids when they're going to private schools or selective enrollment type schools.
Okay.
So I would say education, that's how I do it.
All right. And based on your work thus far, do you think that your voice is being heard in terms of policy change?
Ooh, I think it's just starting to, but it took a year. Because first you have to learn what those policies are. You have to learn, you have to know who's going to listen, and you have to know the people that are in the business. You have to know you have to study, you have to take continuing education credits, you have to learn the school board, the Board of Education, the rules, the policies. It's a lot of time, and it's a huge commitment on just learning first. So then after you get all that knowledge, and then you have to know how to position yourself and what battles you want to tackle. Because there's so many, you got to pick and choose which ones. And you have to stir the pot a little bit, and then you have to know when to stir the pot and who you have to back you. So it's all political either way. So learning that was probably the biggest challenge, and it's been about a year, and I'm just starting to kind of really start to make people think or make people talk.
Okay, thank you.